Hello friends. Now we will do some lectures on post-colonial theories. First one is of mimicry and man. Of mimicry and man, the ambivalence of colonial discourse. This is in the location of culture by Homi K. Bhabha. Homi K. Bhabha, a famous post-colonial theorist, like Gayatri Spivak, you can say. Now what is this? Mimicry, it's a simple thing, mimicry. What is mimicry? Mimicry means, see, suppose I imitate the sound of a female, that will be mimicry. For example, in nearby my place there is a supermarket, and whenever we go to the supermarket in the evening, you will hear a voice like this. That is, "Dear customers, today carrot will cost only ₹2. This offer lasts till stocks last." This is something this is a mimicry actually. I am not a mimicry artist, but I just was trying to imitate that. So if a male imitates or speaks like a female, you call it mimicry. Or you can see other things like this. For example, some people come and say, speaking like a Shah Rukh Khan, or speaking like Rajinikanth, or speaking like a Salman Khan, and so on. No? This is mimicry. Now that means actually what does it mean? It means kind of adaptation. That person is adapting, you can say. See, adaptation, mimicry, the basic meaning you can say is adaptation. The adaptation is a simple thing, but in colonial discourse it's different. Now that's the common meaning of mimicry. I mimic, so to say, the sound of a woman that I usually hear in the supermarket, and I hope you understand the common, so the popular meaning, common, what common man understands by mimicry. Now there is a great educationist, social reformer, a member of parliament, and a chairman of British East India Company. You might have come across his name, Charles Grant. That's his name, Charles Grant. He was in the Clapham set, member of the Clapham set. That means Clapham set means a group of people who stood for abolition of slavery. He was a close associate of Wilberforce. That means he was a reformist, so to say. Now he was in India. He was the chairman of British East India Company. He looked around and saw the Indians, they are very primitive. This is sometime in 1790s. Yes. So he said, he looked around and saw Indians are very uneducated. They are savages, semi-savages. They expose the sick. They say somebody catches smallpox, they will throw him in some place and let him die there. That is exposing the sick, burning the lepers, and also committing sati. So these things worried him very much. He was a social reformer. So what happened is 1792, he wrote a tract. A tract means an essay, a document, you said. And the title of the document was Observation on the State of Society. It's very famous. Observation on the state of society, observation on the state of society. Are you writing down? Yes. Observation on the state of society among the Asiatic subjects of Great Britain. Among the Asiatic subjects means citizens, subjects of Great Britain. So this is a tract, written tract or an essay, you can say, written in 1792. So that is. And then what happened is that, he wrote like this: observation on the state of society among the Asiatic subjects of Great Britain. He was an evangelist, and in that tract he advocated to introduce, or he proposed very strongly to introduce, evangelical system of mission education. Mission means free. Mission, M-I-S-S-I-O-N. Mission education. Evangelical system. And English education was evangelical system of mission education. Because he was thoroughly dissatisfied with the life here around. Very primitive people burning the leper and so on. They find sadi and thugs also. You must have seen thug. See? So he said, it's a very sad situation. So we must evangelical means biblical. That's evangelical means Bible. Evangelion, that is Bible means that is. So that's a Greek word. Origin is Greek. Now I said, so we must have evangelical system of mission education. When you look at the prima facie, you will think that, oh, what a sincere person is he. What a nice person. How kind he is towards Indians. So on you will think. But there was a note. And the note said that we are giving this education not to civilize these Indians, but to fashion them according to the way we desire. That's what he said. You understand that? He said that if you look at that, prima facie, oh, what a nice person is Charles there. But he said, it is not, he said like this, it's a reform of manners. We want to reform their manners as we desire, capital letter, we desire. Understand? There is a thread, you can say, a string there, an axe to grind, he said. Some selfish motive behind. Apparently it is very nice. But what is the selfish motive? We want to reform them as we desire, not as they should reform themselves and grow. That is, the string will be with us. Or, in other ways, you say, partial improvement. Why should we make partial improvement here? Because as otherwise, they will burn us also. It is a question of existence. We are not interested in their growth. We are not interested in them becoming fully morally developed persons. That is not our issue. That is not our concern. Our concern is there is a partial reform of manners in a way that we desire, so that they will not take arms against us and kill us. So we want to, what we call, we want to make our existence safe in this land. Because we found this very, very horrible. Their practices are very horrible. This is mimicry. This is an example for mimicry in the colonial discourse. So the colonizing power They want to make some slight changes here and there among the colonizers. That is with a selfish motive. That means double talk. So mimicry in colonial discourse, we will say it is double talk. Say double. Another example, then it becomes very easy for Lord Macaulay, famous for his minutes to introduce English education in India. And what did he say, He sent the dispatch to the British government, and then he said, it is not for educating them or seeing that they have a full development of their personality. It is for, we want some people, Indian in color and blood, but in taste, in intellect, and in behavior like us. For what? We want some babus, or we want some clerks. We are not concerned about the ultimate development or good of Indians. We want something to get out of them. And what is that? We want to make them our clerks. Clerks, that is considered to be babus, considered to be a menial job those days. So that is again another example for colonial mimicry. Double talk. Understand? You understand now what is this double talk means? Double talk. So that. Or, what do you say that they should adapt? We should give such opportunities, provide such opportunities that they should adapt themselves, or they should adapt our manners. For what? What is the ultimate aim? The ultimate aim is not to make them perfect citizens, civilized citizens. It is for us to use them. They are now raw materials. We want to slightly treat them. The colonial person is a treated person. For what? For what? Like baking flour, bread, and we want to eat it. Like that, we want, this is a selfish motive. So something is done apparently very lofty aim, with very lofty aim, very lofty agenda, but hidden there is selfishness. This is what is meant by mimicry in colonial discourse. You understand that? It's only the common meaning of mimicry. I mimic the sound of a lady. Whether it was exact or not, I don't know. I hope you understand that. No? Then, of course, we said about this title of mimicry and man, that is colonial theory. It's a colonial discourse by Homi Bhabha. And now I gave you two examples. One of Charles Grant's intention to educate or to give an evangelical mission education to the Indians. That's for the selfish motive is hidden. So also the most famous, as we can say, some people say most notorious minutes of Lord Macaulay introducing English education in India, not for our development, but for selfish reasons. This is what is known as mimicry in colonial discourse. You know, who was the first person who practiced this in this world? Satan. And he saw, Satan saw, whether Satan exists or not, that is a philosophical question for which I cannot give any answer now. After some day, I have a theological question for that matter. So, he said that he saw Adam and Eve living a very happy life in paradise. And then he slowly sneaked in and told a double talk there, with a forked tongue, that the serpent has got a forked tongue, double talk. So he said, he told Eve, so he said, no, if you eat of this, the fruit of this tree, you will become like God. That's what he said. See, what is the hidden? Hidden agenda is, you will become my follower, Satan's follower, not God. So that is the first person to colonize is, we can say, Satan. He is the first colonizer. That's what some people say. That maybe you can take it or leave it because it is fiction. In that way. At least for some people it is fiction. So, I think that I have tried to define what mimicry is. Isn't it? Mimicry in ordinary or common, our popular meaning of mimicry. Then I also told you about this discourse in in colonial discourse. Now, there is closely related to this. You have got another word here. In the title itself, we can see ambivalence. The ambivalence of colonial discourse. Ambivalence is a term or a word. Ambivalence. Ambi. Ambi means both. Ambi means, ambidextrous person means he can use both hands. He can use left hand and also right hand. Understand? That such a person is called an ambidextrous person. Now, ambi in both. And valence. Valence means this courage, ambivalence. So here what the word meaning is both, in the sense that both positive and negative together. You have got positive feelings and negative feelings towards the same person. That's again double talk. See, for example, and then this term, it comes from, say that is a Swiss psychologist. His name is Eugene Blendler, a Swiss psychologist, Eugene Blendler. He coined this word ambivalence in the year 1910. So that means this, you have got both positive and negative feelings towards the same person. So that's what we have just seen. Charles Grant, he has positive and negative feelings towards Indians. We saw Lord Macaulay, he has positive and negative feelings towards Indians. Positive for them and negative for us. That's the only difference. So this is ambivalence means. Ambivalence of colonial discourse means the double talk of colonial discourse. So once again, let's see the title of Mimicry and Man. So mimicry here means double talk. Here means equivocation. The Macbeth, the witches, is it? The witches, they predicted, that's the equivocation, no? Greater than, lesser than Macbeth, but greater. Lesser than Macbeth, but greater, about Bangor itself. So that is equivocation, so it's a double meaning, double talk. Understand? So then what happens is, this is what is happening. Means the policy, it's not just talking, it is the policy towards the colonized. Colonizers' policy towards the colonized is a mimicry, so to say. There is no sincerity, it is hypocrisy, it is double talk, as we have seen from these examples. Understand? Now, the term mimicry is taken from Jacques Lacan's psychoanalysis. Jacques and Lacan. This is a French name also. Jacques Lacan. We don't say Jacques Lacan, but Jacques Lacan. So in the psychoanalysis, he uses the term mimicry. In his psychoanalysis, he uses the term mimicry. So Homi and Bhabha took this term from, or borrowed this from, Jacques Lacan, and then he uses it in the background of psychoanalysis. And then he says that this mimicry, according to him, has three dimensions. One is, already I have explained the meaning, therefore it becomes easy for you to follow this. So first one is, he says, first dimension is, you have what is called the travesty. Second is, camouflage, a French word, camouflage. And third dimension is intimidation. So these are the three, and this is taken from The Lion and Light by Chapman. The Lion, L-I-N-E, Lion and Light. The Lion and Light. A psychoanalysis used a a term used in psychoanalysis. It says there are 3 dimensions for mimicry. One is travesty. Travesty means parody. 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 You see? Or you can say another word that is, the another meaning is that mistaken representation. That is, for example, a male as a female as a male. You know, in As You Like It, Rosalind appears as a Ganymede. So a female as a male. In 12th Night you have the same thing, masquerading, that is Viola as Cesario. So that is what we call travesty. So a male becomes a female, female becomes a male. Or any such exchange you can see. A beggar becomes a millionaire, appears to be a millionaire. And a millionaire appears to be, or he puts on the dress of a beggar. Understand? Such things can happen. So that is actually what you find is 2 faces of the same thing. 2 faces of the same, double top. That's the meaning of, so that is what we said. We just now discussed on Charles Dickens and Lord Macaulay. We have already seen that double top, isn't it? Satan's double top. Yes, that's one aspect of mimicry. Second is camouflage, means hiding, concealing, hiding or concealing. You can see, as in warfare, you find something is hidden. Charles Grant and Lord Macaulay, they concealed something. What is that? Their selfish motive they conceal. You can see Macbeth, the Burnhamwood coming to dance in a Burnhamwood. Actually, it's a concealing in warfare. So they're carrying branches of trees. It is hiding, camouflage. That's what it is. Another is intimidation. Another aspect is. That means, see, if you want to live here, you have to behave as I say. That's it. You want to live here in this colony, our colony, you have to behave as I say. That is, we will give you education, but it is not for you, but it is for us. Understand? We will give education, such education that we want you to give. Not such education that you should take or you deserve. See, that's the difference. We will educate you. To be anglicized is not English, that's what it is. To be anglicized, you can learn English, but we will never accept you as an Englishman. See, double talk. So everywhere you find this. Every colonial discourse, you will find this. That's what, as I told you, it's a very, what is called, very sharp criticism of colonization. And the colonizers' hegemony, that is somehow infiltrating these hegemonic tendencies into the life of the colonized people. It is through education, can be through religion. They will convert you, but you will be half person. That's colonial halfness, they say. Listen, colonial half, you are only half person, you will allow only half. That's the definition given by Lacan is known, and itself that is behind. Mimicry definition is and itself that is behind. Now what does that mean? And itself that is behind. Itself means fact. The fact or the truth. The truth is behind. Fact is behind. And itself that is behind. What is the truth? In Charles Grant's scheme, what is the truth? The truth is to reform the colonized people in such a way that they should keep quiet and lead a calm life. That is for our safety. The itself is our safety, and that is behind. The truth is our safety, that is behind. The truth is our existence here, peaceful existence, and that is behind. What is in the forefront? The forefront is that hypocrisy of the white man. Understand? Same with the introduction of education, English education in India. What is itself? Itself is we want babus, we want clerks, who Indian in blood and color, but who will behave as we say. That is, they will dance according to our tunes. So that is a fact. That is the truth that is behind. What is in the forefront? Forefront is a very nice scheme of giving English education to you. So the poor colonized person will think that after I get this English education and after I become a Christian, I'll be just like an Englishman here with all the rights and privileges of an Englishman, but they will get nothing. Big zero. Understand? So that is an itself, that is behind. Say that. So you have to adapt yourself. There's no way out. Because here is the hegemonic powers working on you with all their paraphernalia and official power, military power, and money power, and political power. All these powers you have to get intimidated, so to say. So that's the third dimension of this mimicry. So mimicry is a term taken by Homi Bhabha from the psychoanalysis of the line and light. It is from the line and light. It's about psychoanalysis. And he says that what is it? He defines it. He defines it in the words of Lacan, that is an itself that is behind. And that itself is truth. That itself is fact. Fact is always behind. Isn't it? See, for example, the case of Satan. And itself that is behind. Itself is I want to make you my follower. And what is the appearance? Or in what way? What did he say? He said that you become like gods. Take that and eat. Double top there also. Understand? So you have got a travesty, a parody, or that is mistaken identity, or you can say about this male becomes female and female becomes male. It's easy to understand. And in the case of Shakespeare's plays, you can say, I already told you, Viola as Cesario and Rosalind as Ganymede. Then camouflage hiding. Something is hiding here. In camouflage, what you have heard of this crustacean. Crustacean means what? A shrimp, small shrimps. When they live near, or when they fall in the environment of moss-like animal, moss. There is a biosaurs. A crustacean among the biosaurs, or a small shrimp among the moss-like growth in the floor of the sea. What will it become? It will adapt itself as a stain, as a spot, so that it won't be recognized. So that is mimicry. That is adaptation. Adaptation is mimicry. There is a chameleon, you say chameleon. When the chameleon is in green surroundings, it will become green. Adaptation. Or it is on a red rock, it will become red. Isn't it? Yes. There is hope only under this red rock easily. That is in the wasteland. Come in under the red rock. That's the thing. That is by chance I quoted. There's no relevance here, but I'm just saying. I was just when I thought of red rock, I just reminded myself of those lines. That's all. Please forgive me for making an irrelevant reference to T.S. Eliot. Okay. So these are the three dimensions of mimicry. This you will find all through the colonial discourse, all through the history of colonization, whether it is India, America, or whether it is South Africa, West Africa, or whether it is Kenya, Nigeria, Zambia, or any place, you will find this. You will find all these three. That travesty, that means you hide yourself, you change. You change your ways, Understand? Travesty. A parody of yourself. A halfness of you. You don't fully expose yourself, you're half. Up to what level? That halfness decided by whom? Decided by the colonizer. Yes. Then there's a camouflage, means hiding. You want to fight with the colonizer, but you will appear before him or stand before him as a lamb, as humble as a lamb, as meek as a lamb. See? That's what you do, no? Yeah, that is camouflage. Then intimidation means if you don't behave, I will show you. Say, if you don't behave, I will act in such a way that you will become extinct in 24 hours time. So you are always under a gaze. So connected with this, there is another word, is gaze. What is gaze means? The literal meaning is looking straight like this. Don't gaze at me, sir. Gazing at the person is bad manners, so don't gaze at me. But here gaze means what? Do as I say. That's the meaning. Gaze. When I look, when the white man looks at the black man, he shivers and his skin splits. It's not my observation, this is observation of people who are theorizing on post-colonial discourses, in post-colonial discourses. Understand? So you have to behave as I say, gaze. You are always under a gaze. That means you are under CCTV. Surveillance of CCTV. If you feel that you are always watched by other people, then what will happen? You will not be you. You will be something different. Then naturally what will happen is there will be travesty. Travesty means you will become another person, not you. Yourself. You become a half subject. Subject means person, half person. That's called colonial halfness. So this mimicry is also called colonial halfness. Because always you are half everywhere. In education you are half. In evangelical mission education you are half. In your society you are half. Your growth you are half. Your expressions you are half. So halfness is. Understand? So you got the idea of. Now what I told you, just sum up one or two words. What I said is about Homi and Bhabha, post-colonial theories. The title of the essay is Of Mimicry and Man, the Ambivalence of Colonial Discourse. Ambivalence means having two opinions about the same thing, negative as well as positive. Understand? As this is a term coined by Eugene Blendler, a Swiss psychologist. So that means ambivalence, you have got the same object, you have got two different opinions or two different approaches. One may be one positive as well as negative, because you have to exist, you cannot help it. Then we came to know, then I told you about Charles Grant and Lord Macaulay. Charles Grant's grand idea of introducing evangelical mission education in India for reforming the Indians. But that reform was with a selfish interest, selfish motive. The selfish motive was to make them calm so that they can continue here happily for a long period of time, not to make the Indians better. Then another example I gave you about Macaulay. Macaulay has introduced the English education here to, what is that there, his selfish motive was, they wanted to have some babus, some clerks, that's all. Not ICS or IAS person, there was no IAS persons those days, IAS degrees, but ICS and it's like now, not the higher level of education, but just the clerical level of education. To read and write, that's all. We should be able to read and write English, that's all, nothing more than that. There's no point in for the Indians to study literature, English literature, Shakespeare, Milton or John Keats and so on. So that is double talk. And I said that it means the first colonizer is Satan, I said. And then I said it means double talk, hypocrisy, it means what's called acting, it's a kind of acting, and it is lying, so to say. And the term comes from the dimensions of mimicry comes from Jacques Lacan. And he said there are 3 dimensions here. Travesty means parody, so to say. What you do in travesty, then there what happens is you are in a way that is you are that's simple example I gave already, male, female, male and so on. And then split personality, you can say. Like camouflage means hiding, intimidation means base, you have to behave as you like, and the net result is halfness of the colonial subject. Halfness of the colonial subject. And we will see this tomorrow further with examples, and also what are the effects of. This is dimensions of what are the effects of the mimicry, colonial mimicry on the subjects or the colonized people in the colony or in this world, so you can say. Very few countries which were not colonies. Most of these countries were colonies, so this affected everyone. Every colonized person, this effect he had to suffer. So we will continue with this in the next class. Till then, bye bye.